All right, so the screen sharing settings, what does all of this mean? Include desktop icons. So if you have desktop icons on your screen, do you want to show them or not? Let's say, for example, there's this icon. Do you want that displayed or not? So you can see when I go ahead and share this screen, there's this icon. Now, if I go ahead and uncheck this, you'll see magically in this preview window, it's gone. So that icon is not displayed unless I'm actually dragging it, which is interesting, but it's actually hidden once it's dropped. So if you want to keep your files and stuff like that that are on your desktop private, you're going to make sure that you uncheck this to exclude those icons that are there. Now, you also can change the ability for people to see your desktop picture. So as you can see on your view right now, I have this green and purpley blue background desktop picture. And what happens inside of Ecamm is by default, that's showing. Now, if you just want to show a black picture, you can go ahead and uncheck that and there's nothing at all. Now check this out. You can see there's no desktop, but now you can see the desktop icons, and now you can see neither of those two. So you're going to go ahead and choose those different options as you see fit. I kind of like the backgrounds, so I leave this checked, and I always uncheck this box for the desktop icons because I don't want you to see what files I have on my desktop. Okay, this next option here is add margin when zooming to an app or a window. Now, that's not a desktop share, it's an application window share. So let me show you what that looks like. I'm just going to move things aside a bit, and I'm going to go ahead and add a new screen share overlay. So this is a new screen share overlay, and I'm just going to move that aside so you can see me, and I'm going to select a specific application. So I'm going to go ahead and select the Wavelink software. And now this is the one application that's running on a different desktop. Now, you can see here, there's no margin on the top or the bottom, but if I click this, it adds a little bit of buffer space. And I can go ahead and change the custom view and move it around. And you'll see that there's a little bit of buffer or no buffer. So if I remove it, it's just the application window itself. I can get rid of the round corners to show everything there. And I'm going to zoom in a bit so you can actually see what happens. So adding that buffer or taking away that buffer, you'll see it just adds a little bit of extra. So if I don't want any of that to be seen, I'm just going to go ahead and do something like that. And it's just primarily the application window. Again, adding it and then disabling it really is more or less just a visual preference of what you would like to see. So go ahead and make that change as necessary. This next option here, I'm going to just go ahead and hide that. This next option here basically says optimize for better quality or higher frame rate. So when you are sharing your screen or a window or an application, do you want it to be really good quality or would you rather it to be faster? And so you're going to switch a higher frame rate, which might decrease the quality a little bit, or the better quality, which might introduce a little bit of frame, not lag or delay, but it's not going to be as fast. So if you're sharing something that is moving, you'll want a higher frame rate. If you're going to share something that's pretty stagnant, like an application or a spreadsheet or whatever, then you're going to go ahead and click on better quality. Now, the next option here says include mouse cursor. So when you're actually sharing your screen, do you want your mouse to be shown or not? So let's go ahead and re-enable this screen sharing window. And let's make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. Now, when I move my mouse to that side, you can see if I'm doing an application where I'm talking about how to use it, click plus and do all those things, you want to be able to show the mouse cursor. Otherwise, if there's situations where you're doing a screen share or an application and you're clicking on things, but like a video or YouTube, and you do not want your mouse cursor to be shown, you're going to go ahead and say, disable include mouse cursor. And now I'm moving my mouse on that application, and you'll see that every time I hit something, you don't see the actual mouse itself. Now, if you want to include the mouse and you can see it's a little bit too small, that's where this option comes in. I can increase the size of that mouse cursor, and now it's bigger. So that's a little bit more visually appealing when you're actually using your mouse cursor on your screen shares or your tutorials. Now, the last option here, I'm going to hide this. The last option here says show mouse clicks. So again, if you want to go and show where you are clicking, you can go ahead and you'll see it shows up as a white circle, and that dictates basically where you are clicking. So if I hover above here and I click on click, that white box means that. If you disable it, then those clicks themselves do not register as a white box or circle around that cursor. All right, so and then your last option is show everything when sharing the entire screen. So this one is kind of like disabling these two options here. It essentially shows every little window that you have when you're doing screen sharing, not application sharing, but screen sharing. So just keep that in mind. Generally speaking, I don't want people to see what's on my desktop because I've got private files or so forth. I'll just leave this box disabled here. I hope you're really enjoying this Ecamm Live Masterclass because this has been an absolute joy for me to actually create. And the reason why is because I just love Ecamm Live and I love the whole aspect of content creation, and I hope that you do as well. So please go ahead, leave some comments below. Let me know how you feel about this. Let me know if you have other questions about the specific topic that I'm sharing in this video. And another thing that I really want you to do right now is I want you to go ahead and scan this QR code or click the link in the description below, because this is where I'm going to be housing not only just this Ecamm Live Masterclass, but a lot of cool extras that are not going to be found on YouTube. So you have to register for absolutely for free in order to grab this content. It's in my member portal. So go ahead, scan the QR code or click the link in the description, and I will see you on the other side. Now, back to the regular show. All right, next tab, we're going to go into a little bit more advanced side of things, and it's going to be called shortcuts. So to get to that video, click over here, and I'll see you there.